Hey guys, and welcome back to another Was It Woke video. So today we're going to be doing our breakdown of the recent release Dune Part 2. As per usual, we're going to run the film through my 5 criteria to determine just exactly how woke it is, whether it is not woke, to a little woke, to pretty woke, to very woke. I had no idea what to expect going into this film, whether it was going to turn out very woke or not woke at all. So let's run it through my criteria and find out exactly how woke was it. Number 1 is racial diversity. So to talk about this, we'll look at the whole cast. There is diversity in this cast, but it doesn't feel forced whatsoever. It feels very natural and it feels relevant to the different races of people within this film. Obviously, they are fictional races, but if you're going to kind of make an allegory between them and real races in today's world, the sand people look a bit more Middle Eastern, like myself kind of, and that kind of feels fitting. And then the other people look they're like their parts, so I've had no problem there. From what I understand, Chani is a race swap, Zendaya's character. I have no reference whatsoever for this at all, apart from what I've heard. So I don't know how I feel about that, because I have no problem with her in the role whatsoever. As someone who knows nothing about the source material, her being black or white or whatever has no bearing on her character. She looks like the part for what she's playing, so that's great. So I don't really have a problem with that. So I'm just going to give it straight up 0 out of 10 for racial diversity. Number 2 is LGBTQ representation. This is an easy one. There was none, at least from what I could see in this film. So I just have to give a straight up 0 out of 10 for LGBTQ representation. Number 3 is toxic masculinity / feminist messaging. So starting off with the men, I didn't really feel any toxic masculinity energy in this film. I didn't feel they were kind of portraying men as being toxic in any way for being masculine. I thought it was great, despite Paul, really falling into his role as becoming this leader and kind of turning evil, you're still kind of rooting for him. They don't portray that as a bad thing in terms of the meta of the film. They're portraying it as a bad thing within the context of the film, because obviously a dictator or a tyrannical person is a bad thing. And so that's just, to me, is covered accurately. As for the female characters, I thought they were really well played or performed. Few of them, particularly part of the Fremen, including Chani, were a bit girl bossy. I don't know how that compares to the source material. I don't really have a problem with it. I can just kind of get the sense that maybe they kind of leaned a bit more into it based on today's world and how they want women to look in film. And then talking about Chani as well. Chani leaving at the end, to me, according to the book, supposedly doesn't happen. She actually stays by Paul's side, and despite him marrying another woman, she's still there with him, still in love with him. Instead, in this film, they make her leave. She's choosing to leave and not be with him anymore, and they show her as the final frame trying to ride a worm. That, to me, is kind of this attempt to give her a certain amount of agency, because they don't feel comfortable presenting her as a character that would be happy to go along with her lover marrying another woman. They'd feel that would diminish her feminine energy, her strength as an independent woman. So instead they set her off to be independent and do her own thing. To me, that feels a bit of a reference to modern feminism, if you will. So yeah, that to me was a slight issue there, but not too much other than that. So I'm just going to give it a 4 out of 10 for toxic masculinity / feminist messaging. Number 4 is traditions bad, progressivism good. So starting off, we have obviously the fundamentalists in this film, who play a big role in terms of becoming Paul's followers. They are sort of painted as, outcasts, weird, the bad guys. You could take that as kind of a shot at religion, or people who are kind of devout believers or are very hardcore believers in their faith. Take that as you will. I have a bit of an issue with it, but not really much at all. Fundamentalists of any kind are probably not a good thing. So yeah, but I think it does slightly go out of its way to paint them sort of as kind of crazy and not on the fringe sort of thing. On top of that, there are a few instances in this film where they reference royalty in terms of Paul's, his upbringing, his family, the House Atreides, and they kind of look down on it, particularly the Fremens. They look at it as a bad thing, the structure of royalty being a bad thing and coming from kings and whatnot. They very much paint that as a negative way of living compared to their way of living, at least. So yeah, there is a bit of deconstruction there of that type of belief system or hierarchy, if you will. And so I'm just going to give a 2 out of 10 for traditions bad, progressivism good. The fifth and final criteria is anti-capitalism / pro-socialism. So the main thing we'll talk about here is the idea that the Fremen are always talking about the concept of being equal. Like they, as I mentioned before, they look at like hierarchies of royalty and other systems as being inferior. They see themselves as, you know, everyone being equal, and that is the right way to be. Obviously, this kind of aligns with a sort of socialist / communist way of thinking. Now that, again, there's the two things to juggle here. One, this is just being accurate to the source material. Supposedly, this is how it is painted in the book. And on the flip side is that being built up a little bit more than it is in the book to convey a message that is somewhat popular or mainstream in today's world. And so kind of just trying to juggle those two things. I didn't find it particularly offensive at any point, the way that they referenced it, but it is referenced a few times. It just kind of feels a bit on the nose, just a little bit at times, but not too much. And so I'm just going to give a 3 out of 10 for anti-capitalism / pro-socialism. So if you've been keeping track so far, you would know that the total of this 5 criteria equals 9. We take that 9 and we divide it by the 5 criteria, and that equals 1.8. That falls right in the realm of not woke. So there you have it. Dune Part 2 is not woke. Feels like a surprise in today's world that any film would be kind of devoid of wokeness altogether. You know, don't get me wrong, there's hints here and there in the film, but nothing offensive whatsoever, anything to worry about. So if you are concerned about this film, or you're wondering what it's going to be like in the realm of wokeness, you have nothing to worry about. Anyone can really enjoy this film. Yes, it is more tailored to an adult audience as opposed to like a Star Wars, which is kind of more for all ages. But in terms of that, like in terms of wokeness, it's for everyone. Anyone can enjoy this film, no matter what your persuasion is in life. So yeah, Dune Part 2 is not woke. Anyways, guys, thanks for checking out this video. I really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed it and got something out of it. If you did, please like the video. It would really help, and comment down in the comment section below. And please subscribe to my channel, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.